This is Shoo Rayner on the Shoo Rayner Drawing School on YouTube, and today I'm going to show you how I make my videos. So I've been asked by several people, how do I draw, record how I draw, and particularly for Walla on YouTube, who lives in Bahrain, really wants to know, has been nagging me. So I thought it's time to come and do this video. So let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Okay, well this is really quite difficult because I use these really bright lights for a start, and so that's going to make me look really dark. I've got some lights here, but they're not bright enough to show me up. These are daylight value bulbs, and they're really quite powerful. I think they're kind of 35-watt fluorescence, so these are really quite powerful bulbs. And I have them in these on these two things so that I can move them about. Occasionally you hear that noise when I'm making videos because you hear them clanging when I hit them with paintbrushes and pencils and things like that. So that's half the secret. Well, that's just a little bit of the secret. One of the secrets is that the desk that I work on is just a bit of plywood that I've built in to my studio, so I'm allowed to drill holes in it. Okay, I have 2 holes here, so I'm not saying that you can go and drill holes in your best dining room table, but if you've got something old that you can use as your desk, you can build something like this. And those holes are there because these things slot through. And these things, if I come in front, are just actually I got these are things that they sell for screwing beds together. And I'll keep my little bits like this. You maybe have seen this in flat pack furniture. You kind of stick these little things in slots and you go like that, but basically you need a bolt, a bolt with a nut on the other end of it. So that goes through onto the under the table, and of course while I'm recording I won't be able to. There we are. No. Well, just because I'm recording, of course, I can't get it to screw on there, whereas every day I do this, I have no problem at all. So I screw that one on there, and I screw this one on here, and this frame here I've made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits of wood, and it's very, very simple. There's a flat bit on the bottom, 2 screws go up into this bit, 2 screws go into that bit and hold it all together. And then I have these lamps, which again have these powerful lights underneath it, so I can switch on there. And I think I got these from IKEA. I think these shades, very cheap, but they have these powerful lamps, which I got on eBay. I think they're about £12, £8 to £12 each. I can't remember, sterling, something like that. So that is the lighting system, and I have 4 lights like this so that the shadows, you don't get hard shadows while you're drawing, and it keeps it quite, the lighting is quite soft like that. It would probably be softer if I had kind of gauze over the front or something like that, filters. Right, the next thing is the camera. I have a Lumix G2, which is very nice, and I got this one particularly because it has a little microphone remote in there. I got a microphone to go with it, and it only seems to work in 1 channel. I haven't explored why. It just didn't quite work, and I kind of got bored for doing that. So anyway, through here I drilled a hole all the way through the wood, and I have this, which is just a piece of bolt you can buy over the counter, and it does just slot in easily. It's the same thickness as the screw that you get in your camera, and that goes through there. Come in here now, and we screw the camera on to the piece of wood, which of course is vertical, so the horizontal, so the camera is pointing straight down, and I get the strap out of the way, and then I get the lens cap, tuck that out of the way. And the wonderful thing about the G2, it has this swing out monitor, and I'll sit down. It has a swing out monitor so that I can see what I'm doing, which is really quite useful. And then I stick a piece of paper underneath and tape it down so it doesn't move about. I've got some more tape here. Take a bit of tape. I tape it down in the corners so it doesn't move about. And then if I get a pencil, there's a pencil, that will help me focus there. And I can draw little line. You may have seen me do this once or twice, and that just gives me an idea of the room I have to work in on the paper. Now I've got, these are all fluorescent lights and they're all flickering away like madly, so I have a button here I can press which will reduce the flicker down to, and it's 50 Hertz because that's the speed that the lights are flickering, and that will kind of counteract the flicker. Also, I always check the white balance. I always try and check the white balance beforehand. So I click white set on there, press that, and it checks the white balance. These light bulbs are tuned to what's called 5000K, which is daylight value. And so 5000K is kind of what you're after, and then you should get a fairly white light coming up. But I'm still not happy with the lighting here. I want to find some better lighting. So that's that. What else is there? When I started, I had an old video camera that I used with tape in it, the little tape video cameras, and I started my very first video. Go and look for. I'll put a little link on there. The Ginger Ninja. How to draw the Ginger Ninja, one of my characters. And I did it with a tripod over this desk, and I had these lights strapped onto it, and halfway through the lights fell off, and it was just a disaster. So I knew I had to find a way of doing it, and I've been through about 3 different versions of this wooden thing at the moment. I'm rethinking it. I'm thinking of actually have something hanging from the ceiling, which would be easier because I keep bumping into the sides here. While I'm doing it, it'd be really nice to have it just open here. So I might do a new version that hangs from the ceiling. What else can I tell you? I went from the video camera to a flip minnow, which was a really good camera. I really like that. And that was strapped on again. In fact, I just had that hanging over the top, and it was strapped on with rubber bands and with elastic bands. And that worked really well, except that it couldn't focus at such a short distance. So I found this really neat trick. If you got a flip minnow or a little flip camera and it's just not focusing very well, or you've got this kind of distance and it won't focus on the page, go and find somebody who has reading glasses. Mine are the wrong kind of glasses, but my wife has to have glasses, spectacles to read. And so I strapped them on underneath the flip minnow like that. In the end, I got some really cheap kind of $2 kind of £2 glasses, and I just drilled little holes and stuck a rubber band on it so I could strap it on, and that worked really well. So there's a kind of cheap idea for you. And other than that, I think I can't think of anything else to say. Those are kind of all the tips, and then I just start videoing, I start drawing, and that's how I do it. So I think I'm going to wrap it up now. So if you enjoyed that, keep coming back to the Shoo Rayner drawing channel, where I'll be teaching you to do lots of drawings and maybe some more tips as time goes on. And in the meantime, keep drawing, keep sawing, making things like this, make your own, do your own videos, let me see your video responses, I'd really like to see that. And in the meantime, you look after yourselves, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.